For this video, I will guess around 3 or more surnames that have to be ethnic to those countries and regions. I was going to make a list of 15 countries and regions, but to my surprise, I was barely able to reach the number 13. So not surprising, I'll add Puerto Rico to the list, which I didn't want to do. It will serve as a fitting precursor. The rules are, I guess the country's ethnical surnames, aka the last name, without the necessity of a search engine or a web browser. This I have to guess. I have to explain the reason for the surnames I choose for, and just for the fun of it. And for analytical value, I get to show the world what a Puerto Riqueño like myself thinks. By the second part of this intro, you might have already understood I already did the list, and I promise I didn't cheat. I thought of the most ethnical surnames that originate from these countries and regions as best that I could. Note, remember, not the most common nor abundant last names, just what comes to my mind when I think of these countries. I love the diversity, that uniqueness. That's the heat right there. Also, I picked the countries that were easiest to me. With that being said, let's start with this top 13 list. For the precursor, we have Puerto Rico. This one was going to be kind of easy, and I really could add more, but I'm leaving it at 4. Number 1, Gonzalez. Even I have Gonzalez down my family line. 2, Garcia. 3, Diaz. And 4, Rodriguez. Are just everywhere, so these make me think of Puerto Riqueños like Perez and Lopez and so on. Now let's go to the real list. Number 1, Germany. This one was hard. After so many years of absorbing cultures through videos and movies, at the time of guessing, I came up with 3. The first one was Fritz. I've heard of a German name similar to Fritz. If I am right or wrong, please let me know in the comments. I guess I'll know when I finish this video and do the research myself, but it's fine for all I know. It could be something like Fritzelberger or something, but I'm really not sure because this is a really hard one. Number 2 is Heinz or Heinz. I don't know how to pronounce that. Maybe that's like a mayonnaise brand, but it seems German to me. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And lastly, when I think of German, for some reason Müller comes to my mind. The name Müller. So when I think of Germany, Müller comes to my mind. And I've also heard that name because of Thomas Müller or Thomas Müller. Country number 2, England. For this country, I had to actually finish it last because of how hard it was for me. These surnames I picked could be from Ireland, Scotland, or Wales for all I know. I honestly thought I knew until I thought about it. So the number 1 is Kingston. I think Jamaica was British, and that's why I correlate Kingston with England, but I'm not sure. I could be totally wrong. Number 2, Wilson. I guess because of the sports brand, and it sounds like English to me. And number 3, Anderson. I don't know, but also sounds English to me, but like I said, I could be wrong. Country number 3, Spain. So I know there's many common last names in Spain, but for Spain I actually picked Reyes, Torres, and I haven't researched its etymology, but Garcia comes to my mind when I think of Spain. Country number 4, Italy. I guess my football background helped me a lot with this one. So Di Maria, Totti, Ancelotti, and Lamela. Country number 5, Portugal. When I think of Portugal, I think of Brazilian last names like Moreira, Da Silva, Dos Santos, Ferreira, and G. Oliveira, like the skater. Country number 6, France. This was also a hard one, but because of Haitians, I know of Picard. A common Puerto Rican surname is Betancourt, which is French, and Ribéry, like Frank Ribéry. Country number 7, Ireland. Puerto Rican last name Scarrett is Irish and is a cool fact. So I picked McGregor, McCarthy, and O'Reilly. Region number 8, the Balkans. I guessed Stankovic, Modric, and Rakitic. Maybe someday I'll understand Serbian and Croatian. Country number 9, China. From what I remember in movies and in stories, Chinese last names were something like Song, Li, Lo, Young, Chu, and Chan. I honestly can't tell the surnames from the first names apart. Country number 10, Japan. I love Japan's anime / manga culture, and when I view these series and I listen these surnames, I just haven't made enough research to determine these surnames. But when I think of Japan, I think of those names that end with Ada and Aido, like some sort of Ikeda or Hokkaido, but not being sure 100%. I guess and pick Kagawa, Horigome, and Kishimoto. I read into Japan's history, but I wonder if Yamato is a last name that is being used by the Japanese that actually comes from the Yoroi. Region number 11, the Basque. So I've had friends with Basque surnames, roads named after a person with Basque heritage, and a football player. So when I think of the Basque, I think of Echeandia, Iturregui, and Otamendi. These surnames are hard to spell and to write, so rock on, Basque. Region or classification number 12, Arabic. I am classifying this one as just Arabic because I honestly don't know enough about these countries, and I apologize for utilizing such a broad term for these regions, when in the future I will eventually sort them country name by country name. I've had some friends with the last names from the Middle East, and I also had some general ideas, and even so, I know I am way off. So surnames like Medina, which is common in Hispanic world, like Almodovar, who I have down my family line as well, Shahrazad, Mustafat, Alibaba, Mahmud, Farfad, and Jafar. Yeah, but I don't think Jafar is a surname. So, but then again, Jafar is most likely could be like a first name rather than a surname. So let me know in the comments. And region number 13, Sub-Saharan African. I did so badly on this one. Wow, it was pretty hard. So I just tried to remember Sub-Saharan African soccer players. So I chose Keita or Keita, Yaya, and Eto'o. Thank you, Messi, and thank you, Football Club Barcelona. When I think of those Puerto Rican last names, I think of Puerto Rico and vice versa. Even though that will be the case, those surnames are common in Puerto Rico, but not ethnic to Puerto Rico. This little guessing game was all about going back to its original place of birth. By playing this little guessing game, I was left with even more questions than answers. I feel like I am able to produce this event with much more precision in the future. It has motivated me for learning, and that's what it's all about. Like, share it to a friend you may have that is from one of these countries or regions, and both please comment your respectful views and opinions like, what real last names should make me think of those countries? As I bet there's a plethora of interactive lists of viewers, guesses or suggestions of surnames that, without a doubt, would stimulate our brains and enjoy all the diversity and rich history of the world. And then, after you drop a comment, make sure to subscribe so I can see you on the next video.